Alright, so the Nintendo Direct for the Switch 2 just happened yesterday, and damn, this is the best Nintendo Direct we've gotten, like, ever. I think the part everyone is going crazy about is that we got a Hollow Knight Silksong release for 2025. That's insane, but at the same time, I can't help but feel bad for Hollow Knight fans since this is literally the first piece of Silksong news in years, and it's just a 5-second clip. But it is a release window nonetheless, so that's cool. Anyway, a bunch of cool stuff happened in the Nintendo Direct, so go look at it yourself if you want. But I'm making this video because of the brand new Astroneer game that was announced near the end, STARSEEKER Astroneer Expeditions. I was absolutely hyped when I saw this because I love Astroneer so much. So I'm pretty much going to break down all the news the reveal gave us, and a few theories. Alright, so the big question everyone watching this video is probably wondering, when is this game going to come out? 2026. That's all we know right now. So let's go ahead and summarize the Steam page that was made for it. STARSEEKER is a new game within the Astroneer universe with a focus on discovery, cooperative expeditions, and camaraderie. Exploring deep space on the ESS STARSEEKER, players will need to work together with the entire crew of the space station to complete planet-wide objectives across a multitude of star systems using cutting-edge technology. So what I'm getting from this is STARSEEKER is going to be kind of like Helldivers 2, where you drop into a planet and complete a mission to work towards a community-wide goal. The ESS STARSEEKER, the space station, is the main hub area where I would imagine you start missions, get upgrades, see other players, that kind of thing. I think this concept is perfect for Astroneer, and I couldn't be more excited. I'll explain more when we get to the screenshots though. Anyway, let's get into the reveal trailer and break it down. The video starts with this carrot creature looking thing looking out at the unique landscape, which looks reminiscent of Anaylsis in the Glitchwalkers DLC. This carrot thing is probably just a creature though, but it could be a pet too, who knows. And then the STARSEEKERs run after it and the carrot runs off. And this is where we get our first look at the new characters we play as. And my guess is these are STARSEEKERs, not Astroneers, but more about them later. The STARSEEKERs jump off this cliff and glide. That's just so awesome. But while they were gliding, I spotted this drop pod thing. This device is most likely just what you use to land on the planets when you drop down on them. Mostly because there's a ladder if you look close enough, and it's shaped like it's supposed to break through the atmosphere. Next though, these two STARSEEKERs are analyzing this quartz-looking crystal. I would guess this is for their objective for their mission, and or some kind of currency they could be collecting for something. That's my guess though. After that, we see some STARSEEKERs chasing a creature that seems to be from this planet the trailer takes place on. It has grass coming out of its head, and it has more than 2 eyes. It has something going on in their chest area. There's not much to be said about this guy honestly, but it is pretty cute. As the camera continues to pan, we get our first look at the tools. From the looks of it, the tool the STARSEEKER is using seems to be shooting water into the lake. I don't know why they're shooting water in the lake though. Also, yeah, water. This game is water. That's pretty cool. There's also another little carrot dude. This one is smaller than the one we saw in the beginning, so maybe it's a baby pet version you can have. Next is the STARSEEKER scanning more of those crystals we saw earlier. This is most likely just another tool you can use, and they're probably scanning these minerals for an objective or data. Also, there's these STARSEEKERs swimming. Yes, swimming. Why would they add water if you can swim in it? I think this is just really cool. And look how pretty it is. God, I can't get over how good this game looks. I then spotted 2 STARSEEKERs climbing Breath of the Wild style. Just another cool thing this game has. Climbing is definitely a great feature for Astroneer and will solve a lot of traversal problems I'm sure a lot of players had. Into the cave though, the STARSEEKER is using a terrain tool, but it's got a different model and smaller package. If I had to guess, this is probably a terrain tool but upgraded with the cutting edge technology that was mentioned in the description of the game. And right next to them, there's another person with what I think is a flamethrower, and or a smelter kind of thing. And what makes you think that is the igniter on the muzzle of this tool. And this might be a fuel tank? That's just the theory though. Imagine we actually get a flamethrower. And finally, this big old monster dude was curled into a shell and scares the STARSEEKERs. And taking a closer look, this guy has more of those crystals we keep seeing all over it. One is a big horn, and more as we saw on its arms, so it looks to be shields or something. My guess is as we saw it curled up just now, it probably uses that as a defense mechanism. One more thing, this thing is ugly. I'm not gonna lie. The scene switches to the ESS STARSEEKER space station, and we get our first look at it. As the camera zooms out, we all see the STARSEEKERs running around and hanging out. But let's get into analysis here. This middle console area is most definitely where you start your missions, hook up with teammates, and all that jazz. I know this for sure simply because of the little rocket symbol and the fact it's front and center. The consoles on both sides could be either more mission panels or something else like an upgrade menu, or a menu for something else. On the side of the space station is probably more prompts and technology for menus and settings, like, I don't know, stores, events, upgrade modules, and that kind of stuff. There's also an upper level here with 2 STARSEEKERs watching. Not much to be said about them. It's probably just a viewing point. I like the middle area too. Just an open space to run around is always a good thing to have, you know? But that's pretty much it for the trailer though, and the title drops and the release window fades in. Alright, so on to the screenshots. This first one is on the ESS Starseeker space station, and yes, this confirms emotes. Who would have guessed? But that's besides the point. This is probably the best look you're gonna get at the Starseekers and their character models. I really like them, to be honest. They look more slick and more prepared for space adventuring. And look how jacked the flight suit guy looks. Damn. Dude, this guy's ready to take on anything, I'll tell you that. But the screenshot mainly shows the multiplayer aspect of Starseeker, and I just think it's totally awesome to have a main hub area for that. But his next screenshot is just beautiful, and it is totally gonna be my wallpaper. It shows two Starseekers swimming underwater, and just look how gorgeous it is. We even got fish, bro. This is gonna be game of the year. Anyway, the main point is you can swim and go underwater, which is just awesome. I would guess it's gonna be some sort of objective or something that you go underwater and look for some sort of material or data. The Starseekers also have lights in their helmets, and they're obviously breathing just fine thanks to their backpacks. Next screenshot is more of the monster dude, but I already explained him. This is the best look we've gotten at the backpacks, and you'll notice how they all look different. This guy's backpacks look similar to the one you have in Astroneer. Got your good old power and oxygen, but also two slots on both sides of it. And from what we saw in the trailer, this backpack is for the glider. My best guess is it's going to be like the exosuits in No Man's Sky, which I'm all for considering what this game is shaping to be. On the next person though, their backpack is a little different. You notice the power dots we saw on the other guy are entirely absent. Instead they have switches or something? But this is the person we saw earlier with a terrain tool. So this little chute is probably where the terrain comes out of, I think. This next person doesn't have much to be said about them. They only have an oxygen meter and this leather roll attached to the backpack. What could this leather be used for? Maybe a sleeping bag? Other than that, I have no idea. The person that had the flamethrower thing we saw earlier does have a different backpack too. It only has an oxygen meter and these railings on it. That's kind of it though. But I would think these different backpacks depend on which tool you're using. And these 4 backpacks are what are seen throughout the whole trailer and screenshots. First you have the normal one for the glider, the terrain tool one, the one for the flamethrower thing, and this last one which might be a scout kind of thing. Every Starseeker we've seen so far has had these antennas on their backpacks too, most likely to relay communication with the ESS Starseeker though, or just team communication. The next screenshot shows more of the gliders, and let me just say how freaking sick this looks. Just, god, it's so pretty and I just love the idea of gliding in a game like this. We also see this crate thing these others are standing next to. I don't know what it is though. Just a crate. It's just a box. Last but not least, instead of these Starseekers chasing this creature thing we saw earlier, it's them being chased. Hunter becomes a hunted, right? We do get a better look at the front of the Starseekers though, and they look awesome. They look like actual astronauts now, and not just bubbles of the body. And one more thing. Bubble Starseeker. Going to the website for Starseeker, we get a good look at the ESS Starseeker space station. And does this beast just not look totally awesome? There's thrusters all over it, and down here is the main hub area. I don't really know how to explain it though, other than this just looks nothing short of amazing. But that is it for the reveal of Starseeker. Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions is already shaping to be an incredible game that I'm overwhelmingly excited for. I'm pretty positive of what Starseeker is going to be. It's kind of like No Man's Sky, where you have your hub area where you can join your friends, select missions, upgrade your stuff, that kind of thing. I love the idea of Astroneer being a massively multiplayer game like this, with a big hub area and doing missions with others to work towards goals. I'm incredibly excited for this game, and you should too. I think what I love about this reveal is Starseekers is what Astroneer should have been. Astroneer has so much potential, and Glitchwalkers did show that partially, but I think Starseekers is going to go above and beyond. Starseekers is what I've wanted from Astroneer since the beginning, and that's why I'm so hyped. So go wishlist it. I'll link it in the description if you want to look into it yourself. I also recommend joining the Astroneer Discord as well to keep updated on Starseekers. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Go wishlist Starseekers and play Astroneer if you want. Bye!